It's been a while since we last saw Xander Cage flip a dirt bike across crashing waves or pull off some gravity-defying stunt that makes you wonder if the laws of physics ever apply to him. But even though things have been quiet on the surface, there's still hope simmering beneath for xXx. Because this franchise, like its extreme sports-loving hero, has a tendency to come back when you least expect it. The original xXx burst onto the scene in 2002, giving us Vin Diesel in a new kind of action role that leaned hard into outrageous stunts and a don't-play-by-the-rules attitude. It was over the top in the best way, and audiences around the world ate it up. The film raked in over $277 million globally, proving that Xander Cage was more than just a one-off thrill ride. He was a full-blown action icon. But when the sequel rolled around, Diesel decided to step away. That led to xXx, State of the Union in 2005, which introduced Ice Cube into the mix. It had its moments, sure, but without Diesel, the film didn't have the same pull, and the box office reflected that. It brought in just over $71 million, a steep drop compared to the first. Fast forward to 2017, and Diesel returned in xXx, Return of Xander Cage. It was like he'd never left. The movie leaned into the absurdity, embraced a global cast, and gave us a wild ride that resonated with international audiences. It pulled in a solid $346 million worldwide, which immediately had fans buzzing about the possibility of a fourth movie. So naturally, people have been asking, what's up with xXx? That's where things get a bit murky. Recently, franchise co-star Ruby Rose offered a small update in an interview while promoting her new film Dirty Angels, which is set to hit theaters in December 2024. When asked if there was any movement on xXx, Rose admitted she hadn't heard a thing, then joked that it's been so long, it feels like she hasn't heard anything since 1974. She made it clear that she'd love to return, mostly because she enjoyed working with the cast and crew so much, calling them incredible people. Even though Rose didn't have any concrete news to share, her fondness for the experience is a good sign. It means the cast is still open to revisiting this world, and that kind of goodwill matters when it comes to getting a sequel off the ground. Plus, Rose seemed to suggest that while her current film is more serious in tone, the fun and wild energy of xXx is still something she'd happily revisit. So, what's really going on behind the scenes? Well, part of the delay might come down to Diesel's packed schedule. He's still the driving force behind the Fast and Furious franchise, which continues to dominate the global box office. On top of that, he's also returning to his cult favorite sci-fi role in the upcoming Riddick, Furia, another long-gestating project fans have been waiting for. With so many projects competing for his time, it's understandable that xXx might have slid to the back burner. That being said, Diesel hasn't forgotten about Xander Cage. Back in 2023, he posted a nostalgic photo of himself with xXx 3 co-star Deepika Padukone, along with a message that felt more heartfelt than random. He talked about how much he enjoyed working with her and how she introduced him to India, hinting that he looked forward to returning. While it wasn't an official announcement, it definitely sparked hope among fans that something was brewing. And let's not forget the groundwork already laid for a fourth movie. The ending of xXx, Return of Xander Cage, was clearly meant to set up something bigger. Ice Cube's Darius Stone showed up out of nowhere to help out, dropping a mysterious line about them coming for the team. It felt like a classic sequel hook, teasing a larger conflict and possibly bringing together the original and new teams into one high-octane unit. Director DJ Caruso, who helmed the third film, even teased a more global and political storyline. He mentioned that Samuel L. Jackson's character had a line about watching the Watchers, hinting that future missions might take on a more subversive tone, with Xander and his team uncovering corruption at the highest levels of power. That idea alone could open up some exciting territory for the franchise to explore. It's not just about bigger stunts, it's about higher stakes. There was even casting news back in 2018. Jay Cho and Zoe Xiang were reportedly set to join the next installment, giving the project even more international appeal. It's unclear whether those deals are still active after so many years, but the intention to build a bigger global team was definitely there. Of course, we also have to consider the changes behind the scenes. Brad Grey, the head of Paramount Pictures at the time XXX3 was made, was a big supporter of the franchise and had plans to bring Diesel and the whole cast back for a fourth movie. Sadly, Grey passed away in 2017, and it's possible that without his backing, the momentum behind the sequel faded. But it's not all doom and gloom. These things take time, especially with franchises that have big international casts and stars juggling multiple commitments. Just because XXX4 isn't moving full steam ahead right now doesn't mean it won't happen. Diesel is known for circling back to projects when the time feels right. After all, he waited over a decade to revisit Riddick, and that franchise is still going strong. And the truth is, Diesel holds the keys to Xander Cage. The character just doesn't work without him, as the 2005 sequel showed. If and when he decides to fully lean into the idea of another XXX, chances are the rest of the cast will follow, especially since many of them, including Ruby Rose, are already on board emotionally. From a studio standpoint, there's still potential here. The third movie proved that the franchise has global appeal, especially with a diverse cast and crazy set pieces that work well on the big screen. If the next one can match that energy and bring something fresh to the table, it could find an audience again, especially in today's nostalgia-heavy environment, where reboots and sequels are often welcomed with open arms. So while we might not have the green light just yet, the ingredients for XXX4 are still there. There's fan interest. There are hints from the cast. There's a strong box office history. And there's a clear path forward in the story. It just needs the right spark at the right time. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to see Xander Cage drop into a new mission on a snowboard, skydive into enemy territory, or race through city streets in a muscle car with flamethrowers strapped to the sides? The franchise has always known exactly what it is. Loud, unapologetic, and wildly entertaining. Of course, until something official comes out, it's all just speculation. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives fans a chance to imagine all the crazy stunts and wild plot twists a new XXX movie could bring. After all, this series has never been about playing it safe. It thrives on being over-the-top, unpredictable, and a bit outrageous. And that's exactly what people love about it. So even if the studio hasn't pulled the trigger just yet, the energy is still there, and the right moment could reignite everything. It's also worth remembering that Hollywood is always shifting. Projects that seem quiet today can suddenly explode with momentum tomorrow, especially when there's still passion behind them. Diesel clearly has affection for the character, and fans haven't forgotten how fun XXX, Return of Xander Cage was. So even if things are slow right now, the story of Xander Cage may just be taking a breather before his next wild mission kicks off. And that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop. And if you want, feel free to share your thoughts about this video in the comments.